Hi guys, in today's video we'll look into a scenario in which Mongolia forms an empire. But not the Mongol Empire, because that'd be a bit excessive. Because, yeah. And you're like, but they can't expand, they're surrounded by two strong neighbors. With Inner Mongolia somehow managing to succeed, it's seemed as good for their expansion, except the fact that they declare their own nation. And then we have Manchukuo break free. We have a Republic of China break free. We have Republic of China form here. We got the Yunnan, pro-Yunnan government. We got a East Turkestan independence. We got the independence of Tibet and nationalist China. But with Mongolia at this point invading Inner Mongolia, as it's a perfect timing for them, as right now they're just independent, weak, basically, yeah. And yeah, they're actually expanding well into it as one of their first military operations in I don't know how long, since World War II. With them forming Greater Mongolia pretty quick, with the rest of Inner Mongolia falling. With the establishment of an annexation of a big territory being very good for Mongolia. But for everyone else, not really good. And then they move into Turkestan, East Turkestan, or Xinjiang, whatever you want to call it. And as we can see, they make a big front line. Of course, this area is not populated or anything. And it doesn't look like they're not planning to expand into Tibet. Because, yeah. With annexing all of this. But their plans aren't to invade much of China yet. They're now going after Manchukuo in the Muko Campaign. As their invasion of Manchukuo at first goes really well. And then not so much. As Manchukuo somehow managed to do this. And so, as we can tell, they're getting invaded back. Because they didn't have enough troops sent to the front line. At this point, they're learning their lesson. And so they continue their campaign in the Manchukuo. Manchukuo offers them a peace treaty, but Mongolia refuses it. As somehow their military becomes one of the strongest in the world. Well, then again, India would be the third strongest, probably second strongest, to be honest. But yeah. And eventually this full nation falls over. And then, before we color it in, that'll happen later, but we're going to have them invade the Koreas. With it seeming almost obvious that they were going to do this. With the People's Republic of China joining the blue team. And not that, but both other Chinas decide to join on a different team. And them being invaded. And Mongolia finally taking out North Korea and going right through South Korea. With them starting a front into here as they had to move all their troops quickly south. Because, yeah. As they end up taking Beijing from the People's Republic of China. The Republic of China is, like, there. With the capitulation of them in the peace treaty. Outbreak with war with fascist China. And Tibet and China join. Unfortunately, due to this being the weakest China, and China is now back on one of the top few. Well, the Republic of China. But this area, due to being sparsely populated, well, probably not sparsely in some areas, but mostly being sparsely populated, allows a quick invasion. Because fighting here is easy. Because it's just flat, probably. Wait, is it flat? It might be mountainous. I'm not sure. China's basically every type of terrain, just like the US. And now a peace treaty is signed, but with Russia at this point in all of Central Asia signing a security guarantee thing in private nobody knows about. Nations are now bigger, and with this, the Republic of China decides to annex this and Tibet, and then they quickly annex Yunnan. As you can tell, their luck is bad. But with a declaration on war on Russia, while they've been arming these borders, because they have, for some reason, even though they don't know about this defensive pact. But yeah, they were arming these borders because of the close relations to Russia. And Japan annexes Sakhalin. And quickly they move up and cut off the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Because why not? As troops do that, and somehow do that, but yeah, and troops here are told to do this, with this country being stronger than Russia's security on this front. But yeah, and their speed of advance goes pretty fast. But it's also in the middle of nowhere, and they set up a defensive up here, as they know they're going to want to hold this, and they have to invade Central Asia, or else quickly that area falls with Vladivostok after a fierce battle being won by Mongolia, with a few counter-offensives by Russia happening, but eventually that happens. With them moving through the mountains of Central Asia, soon out, because that's where, like, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan gets its water. And they've made it to the Caspian Sea. And it turns out they quickly take the capital, with most of the troops of Kazakhstan having been knocked out in the other countries, like Uzbekistan and Russia and such on. Their country has become increasingly likely to have to surrender. And that's exactly what it does. An invasion north through Kazakhstan starts. And with Mongolia basically taking all this after a bunch of Russian counteroffensives, Russia agrees to peace. And Mongolia doesn't take as much as you would think someone in this position would take. No. The Mongol Empire is formed. But what happened after? Well, this part of Kazakhstan collapsed and Russia annexed it. In fear of an extension of this war, Turkey and Azerbaijan unites. And then they take over Armenia and Georgia. Iran and Afghanistan unites. Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi, Jordan, and Syria unite. Eventually, these three unifications that happened out of fear of the empire get bigger. With India and China uniting, why does that seem like weird? But yeah. Pakistan joins this. Because why not? Really. All these nations join because they have nothing else to do. But yeah. To make the borders look better. With this, the expansion of the... And as we can see, I think you guys like the flag map I made. But that's all for today's video. Please like and subscribe. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!